What about the platforms? Have they been refurbished?
No.
All right. So you want that now taken care of before you'll allow this. You need a load test here too, right?
Yeah, it looks like there's something missing up top. See a green line out goes off a little bit.
No. A lot of times there's not going to be any boxing or anything like you see over there. It doesn't need the grading is what ties it all together. But now with that happening here, let's move over to this little one. Do you know what this is? This is called a fold-out ladder. You know how these work? This won't even. This actually supposed to fold up if it was properly working. This folds up into itself and it looks like a drain pipe. And you only release it from above. And when you release it, it does this. This is 7 to 9 feet off the ground. I'm supposed to jump through the remaining portion. But do you trust every one of these rivets on this ladder without a load test? If I load test this, will that be sufficient for you? Okay, otherwise can I give you another alternative? If I was to take out each one of these rivets and put in a new bolt here, well then, will you be then satisfied? That would be a certification in lieu of a load test. You want refurbishment, reinforcement in lieu of a load test. Because that's what the law says, right? Yeah. Examination or a load test.
These are hollow rivets?
No, they're through, but they're one piece. But the water's getting in there. Can you, if you see that everything's been compromised. Right. Original square heads. You test this? See the rust inside there? Yeah. Even though it's a 16 to an 8, do you think that rust has compromised these bolts? Sure. So in order for somebody to guarantee this to you, as soon as I take out those two bolts, which is pretty fast, I don't need to verify them anymore. I can just change the bolts. So refurbishment is what gives you the guarantee. Let's take a look at this one. Do you see any cement problems?
Oh yeah. Oh, repointing needed.
Perfect. Look at the gussets. Do you see any bulges in the gussets? Especially this right one.
Oh yeah.
So you already see that, and even if you couldn't see original hardware or new hardware anywhere on this fire escape system. No new hardware. So it's impossible for something that's 50 to 75 years old not to have some sort of refurbishment to satisfy you as the inspector. What about paint job? It needs a paint job or no paint job? And the fact that this thing's down, this is a break-in issue. People can break into the building, but if this thing was properly greased and properly bolted, you can close this up now. There's nobody breaking into this building. Okay, now let's walk this way. There's a fixed fire escape ladder right here. And any of these bolts ever give way, how heavy are these to fall on somebody's head?
Yeah, this looks like it's bent a little bit.
Right, it's bulging.
Oh yeah,
how about back here?
Quite a bit, yeah. Yeah, it needs refurbishment.
Okay, and if you can get in there and look at the this is about 1,000 pounds worth of weight here.
Now, is this concrete or?
No, that's solid steel. It's cast iron. Okay, now look at back here.
Yeah.
You think that's holding it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the rivets that hold the whole angle, they're gone. And look at the nut, it's gone.
Yeah.
If you come back here and shoot this, and then what about this corner? The frame, is that corner good?
That's fine.
So this fire escape is structurally unsound.
Yeah.
Did you have to climb on this fire escape to make that assessment?
No.
So we've done a cantilevered unit. You've looked up 3 stories. We've done a balcony with a folding ladder. Let's go to the front of this building. And again, this much rust takes 25 years of non-painting, never paint up. Again, you're on a physical inspection on the building. You happen to walk out and notice there's a fire escape. More rust than paint or more paint than rust? Needs a paint job. So if you only want to write a violation on just the maintenance part, that's all you need. Because whether you write a violation on paint or structural, it always requires the 5-year anyway. Both of them are going to get you the same thing. So now let's look up structurally. Any evidence of any maintenance anywhere. But you're the first thing you look for is any new hex heads anywhere to your knowledge. So if you don't see one new hex head in 50, 75, or 100 years of this building, has anybody ever structurally touched this fire escape? So, do you need to go any further? You want to get out a window and climb on it and test it with your body? You want to do a live load test?
No.
You know?
In fact, there's a chain here.
Correct. That chain is because this too is a fold-out ladder. This thing is, if you could,
It's supposed to be up.
oh yeah, this one's slow.
Oh yeah, that could be up.
It does move. I'm just not tall enough.
I see. So that should be.
And that's a break-in. But now look for bulges. See how the original here, so nobody can ever load test this. You got bulges, especially on this, so look how big the bulge is. So you got unsupported platform. Let's take a look into the building. Do you see any cement connections that are tearing up? You know, and you look like they've been doing some repointing anyway. But did they verify it back into the building? All right, let's take a look at this one. So they can have this, but now we're in obstruction. So they can take that pole and put it up there.
Okay.
But right now, the guy took advantage of something, and that's obstructing firemen from getting up to see getting down. But again, more paint than rust or more rusted paint?
More rusty, yeah.
More rusted paint? And what about structurally? Any evidence of any maintenance in the history of this fire escape that you can identify on the rail, on the gusset?
Other repointing, but nothing in the fire escape.
Now, one bolt in 75 years. It's impossible. And no engineer will load test this.
In fact, we have a cornerstone or
Yeah. A lot of times it's because as the iron grows, it snaps lentils and it snaps stone. So anything else? How about the corners on the rails? And this thing is a fire escape deck. You see how this little thing? You have position, and then when you release it, it comes down. Alright, so now there's one last fire escape. Let's come over here.
And lastly, there's an air conditioner and
Exactly.
this one, so you have another obstruction.
Obstruction,
So
yeah. No ACs in the windows, correct? No flower pots on the fire escape. Now this is just one building. And you didn't come out for a fire escape inspection. You came out for some other form of inspection. So let's see if this one. So if this thing was greased, when you release it from above, so now if it's closed, I can't break it in the building. It's not properly attached here. It used to be here, so it's not properly attached. And when you release it and it was properly greased, it's supposed to do this. It comes down and people come down.
This is loose.
Oh yeah, the whole thing. So now let's, down here you can see a lot more of the cement situations. Now, let's talk about the cement. You want me to blow that hole open and verify that it's properly connected into the building, or do you want a new epoxy bolt next to it?
New epoxy bolt.
For what reason? Because I can make $250 per examination, but I can only make $25 per new epoxy bolt. So, is it really what's better for the client? Whatever's cheaper and faster for the client. So, instead of me verifying what obviously looks like a good mistake, but it's unverifiable without some form of destructive testing, which means right next to it I drill a 3/4 hole next to the steel, and then I put in a probe and I start photographing it whichever way I can to prove to you with photographs that, but instead 3 to 5 inches away, I put a new bolt, put a Hilti epoxy bolt, mechanically fasten it back to this one, make sure this one is properly packed. Now the unknown, it's called the invisible connection, has now been duplicated. So whatever cheaper, verification of the connection or duplication, whatever's cheaper to the client. Otherwise, the only other way for me to guarantee the wall, even after I've done all my rebolting, let's say I rebolt 100% of